So I with that, hello, was someone trying to say something? Okay, okay, you started recording. All right,
I
all right.
can connect to this.
Okay, all right, beautiful. So we today on our class we have someone very special to me. Um, I invited a guest facilitator from my agency. Um, please help me welcome Victor. Victor is a exceptional motion designer, and he's so good at what he does. He get most of the content you see out there from our company, Spencer Zero, and some beautiful work. He, yeah, most of the content you've seen out there are done by him. He's a passionate and skilled motion designer. We get with who create stunning and engaging animation. He have a very solid foundation in design, which is very key, and an eye for detail. He have he have succeeded in making captivating and captive motion design for brands and corporations, big and small. So without wasting much of our time, I want Victor to say hello to the class and tell us what he'll be taking us today.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you very much, Astonish, for the introduction. Okay, so just like Astonish said, my name is Victor. So I will be picking some of. I did a project for Ruko. I don't know if you guys know it, but I think some of you guys will know it. So I will be picking some of the scenes from that advert or the brand design that we did, and I will just explain, then do some little demonstration on some of the animation. So that is what we'll be doing today. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you can carry on. You can carry on.
Okay, okay, that's great. Okay, so let me just give me let me say 2 minutes. Let me share my screen and do some little setup here.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, let me ask, are you guys also, I want to play video now. I just want to know if you guys will hear the sound from my system. I don't know if you guys heard the sound. Astonish, can you just confirm for me if you hear?
No, I've not yet heard any sound yet too.
Okay, no problem. Let me just, okay, somebody said it's quite low. Okay.
I couldn't hear it at
All right, let
all.
me just share my, okay, no problem. Let me just share my screen and show you guys what I will be doing. Share my entire screen. Okay. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let me play the video, the brand video that we did for Roku.
Have you been worried about crypto investment security? That's your result.
So let me just enlarge the screen so that it will be visible more.
Worried about crypto investment security? That's your result. The global financial industry has gone digital, allowing anyone to explore many investment opportunities in cryptocurrency. However, investors have difficulty finding platforms that are secure and easy to use. This is where Roku comes in. Put it fast, easy, and secure to buy and sell cryptocurrency. You can easily deposit and withdraw money in local currency without hassles. We are proud to announce our expansion into Europe, proving we are unstoppable and open to receiving millions of crypto trades effortless forever. Welcome to Roku, a gateway opportunity.
Okay, so that's the video, but we'll pick some scenes from here. Let me mute this sound so that you can hear me very well. So we'll be doing this particular scene, and let me just go to my After Effects. So I'm using After Effects 2018. I don't know the version that you guys are using, but I believe it will just be something similar, just little difference in terms of their upgrades. Okay, so but before I come to this scene, I will want to do the simplest one before we go to the more not really complex, if you understand, this scene. Okay, so let me play this. Let me just run preview this so we see. Now, this particular scene, one thing I want you guys to understand, whenever you want to do an animation or motion design for a brand, there should be a story behind it. Let there be an information, even though they are not seeing a write-up, like maybe this guy is unstoppable, for example. Let your motion demonstrate what unstoppable is. So, like this particular scene is actually demonstrating unstoppable. So if you look at the shapes, these are shape layers that I just created. They are coming against this ball, but the ball find his way out. You understand? So that is just where I just demonstrated this particular scene. So first, and one other thing I tell my students is that whenever you want to, for example, do a particular scene or recreate something, one, it should be better than what you saw, or you should try and make sure that you did exactly what you saw. Now, one of the things is, first you need to observe the scene. What I did here is, the first thing is this ball. Observe everything. There's nothing really complex about this scene. It's just the concept behind it. So some persons might think that this thing is very complex here and there, but the truth is it's not really complex. It's as simple as ABC once you understand the basics. And I believe you guys understood the basics. So first, we're going to, let me show you this is the ball I used. Let me just trim. This is the ball I use. It's a simple animation. The ball just move around and hit those shape layers and find its way out of the scene. Sorry, my voice is a bit bad. So this is the ball. This is the ball. So I created the ball separately from other scenes. So this is how the ball is. Okay. So this is the animation of this particular ball. So I'm just going to replicate this particular animation because I'm not going to go in detail in everything that you're seeing there, but I'll just try to replicate this and show you the basic concept, how we achieve that. So let's say test. Okay. So I will create my ball. So most of the times when you try to create shape layer, I don't know why you tend to see this at the anchor point not in position. So what I normally do is I just hold control my keyboard and click on this pan behind to double click on it, so it will snap the anchor point to the middle. Okay, so fine, we have this already. Then one other thing I do is I create null objects. I put it at the center of this ball. Then I'll parent this the shape layer to the null object. Let me call this the ball and call this ball control. Okay, so with this now I can move without me touching the ball properties. I can actually work on the ball with just this node. So this come in handy when you want to add multiple animation to the ball. For example, if I add position, use position, animate this, the position of the control. Let me just snap this to 5 seconds. So I said, let me animate this from here. So let me use like 1 second. So for example, I have this smooth motion already. So if I want to, maybe I want to add another particular motion to this ball using position also, maybe as before it gets to this point, it will just go with speed. You know, it will just go out or go to the end of this screen with another velocity, or should I say another strength of speed. You understand? So instead of me, because presently now I can't add keyframe at this point that will work perfectly for what I want to do. So what I do is, since this has its own control, I can add keyframe, yes, still using that same position. Then maybe come to this part, then send it to the end of this frame. But what I will do is the same curve editor I use, I won't use the same one for this. It will be different. So this is how it is. So I will select the position of this ball. Then make sure you just click that to just speed up things for us. So this is the curve I will use instead. So what this does is, before it gets to this point, it will just go with speed. But now one thing that you must do majorly in all your design is you just need to readjust your animation so that it will suit your desired flow of action that you want. Presently now, it's not really good. Okay, fine. So I think I got it now. So I just readjust the speed of this, but let me just go back so that we have a full understanding. So this is it. I want it to be fast. Before it gets to this point, I want it to move with another speed. So what I did was I had to readjust this, then bring this to somewhere here. So I don't know if you guys understand. So this now helped me to have two animation, the position of this and the position of this. I can still go on and on. For example, you can still create another null object and parent this one to the first this into to the new one, and it will still control everything. So I can add multiple keyframe depending on what I want to achieve. So most of the times when you see animations like this, those are some of the things that they do to achieve them. You see, maybe the ball just rotates in different way and has different velocity or speed at different frame or different timeline. I don't know how to put that, but I believe you guys understand. So let me just demonstrate lastly this. So I will add another keyframe. So before it even gets to this point, it will go back. Okay. So remember, I'm using 3 position. I just want to animate one object. Okay, so let me not use that. So I will still maintain what I want to. Okay, might not be too sweet, but okay. Okay, so that's just the basics of that stuff. So that's that. So I'll just take out the position of this. Just try to reset. So let me take it on out. Okay, so we are back. So one thing I want to point out is in every animation you see, there is a direction. So first we need to have a direction of what we want to create. For example, we did some sketch before we get to this particular uh, point of animation. Let me open my Photoshop so that we can just do a little sketch on how we will achieve this animation. So let's imagine that I didn't show this particular clip for you. What we want to do now, we just want to show something that will depict unstoppable. Okay, so so let me just quickly open my Photoshop. Let me use brush. So first we create, okay, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I'm not using my graphics part, so I'm using the mouse, so my drawing will not be very neat. So we have a ball, we have obstacle, because we want to create something that will depict an obstacle. So sometimes you can do your sketch with your, either with your pen on a book. Most of the times I do my sketch on books. I just draw what I have in my head and then see how I can implement it on motion design. So first the ball comes in, we want it to hit one of these and to show the effect on it. Hits this, it will show the effect, and like that. So once the ball gets to this point, it moves out. Okay, so now it's a rough sketch, but I know you guys understand what I'm saying. So let's start the animation. So let me create the obstacles. So we have this big ball. So I would, for the sake of time, obstacle, let me just name this obstacle. So I will just, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do many obstacles as like that one. So I'll just do like two. Let me put this one here. So one thing about motion design is just like, especially when you are working for brands, it's just like a movie script. You create the script and you put all your animation, all your objects, let me use objects, in place, and you just say action and you start to do what you need to do to make sure that that script that you have already comes to life. You understand? Presently now we already know that we want to create a story from this little, let's say maybe within 5 seconds. We just want to create a story, something that people will understand when it comes to obstacle, overcoming your obstacle, for example. So that is what we are going to do. Overcoming your obstacles, it looks like one church event. Okay, so let me who is laughing there? That voice looks like astonished. Okay, so let me, what I will do is this. So already there are some motion on this ball, on the obstacle. They are just coming, but I'm not going to go there. Let's just show the effect. So I will take this one out, then press P on my keyboard to bring the position property. Let me just go to like 1 second. Let me use this. So once it gets to this point, I'm coming. Let's After Effect do the shaking.
I
All
bet
right,
save your work,
so
bro. Have you saved your work before After Effects show Shege? Yeah,
I'm doing that, my boss.
yeah. So I would like to say something before you continue. So
Okay,
yeah, what we are currently doing, we are actually trying to animate a script.
okay,
That no, I'm not, I'm talking to the class. So We are trying to animate a script, and what he's doing, we are approaching a script, and how to approach a script, just like he rightly said, is that you need to first of all break all the script into different scenes. Now, how you can relate a scene is that every information that is correlating to an idea, a particular idea, just like you said, you are talking about obstacle. That was the theme of the full message. The same way you'd have a designer would have understand that, okay, this is how he want to illustrate an obstacle from the message. The same thing goes into an animation, and this is what we call star framing. You get star framing and storyboarding and style framing. And now your motion design doesn't always have to have text and typography flying up and down. It can be expressive and show working, like tell a story, let it be driven. To as simple as using a shape, just like he have done different balls. You can still that you can illustrate when something is having a struggle, which is rightly doing. I hope you guys understand what's going on now. Then again, there was something he pointed out, which is parenting. Parenting help Parenting helps senior motion designers to achieve a particular to achieve the particular is vibe or energy. So that your motion design will not be looking having this a dull energy or a dull animation. So when you have animated your keyframe and you have done your easing ease, you get to show the kind of speed you want for the first action. You don't necessarily need to do everything with one element. When you have satisfied with the first action, you can parent it to another non object so that you can have a secondary um animation easily. But now it will come at a cost. It will come at a cost of spending more time on that particular scene. I- You can spend as much as 4 hours just to animate a 4 second scene, and it will always come out beautiful. So get it at the back of your mind that the best result you want to achieve, you need to spend more time. You can spend as much as 5 hours just animating 5 second scene. So please continue. I love what you're doing.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, so we have a keyframe on this position. So let's just preview. Okay, so I will add another keyframe. So um, sorry, not that one. So there's something that we normally do. For example, there's a little break at this point. Something very little. I don't know if you guys can see it, but what we do to solve that problem is we use what we call rove across time. So what this does is instead of us trying to um, uh, adjust the graph editor, it has 3 points, but with the rove across time, it will eliminate that. So it will just be like two particular keyframe. It does not matter how many um, keyframes you have. Let me add more so that you see them. It does not matter how many keyframes you have. Okay, so let's see now. You see it stop because of this extra keyframes I added. That's why you're seeing that little stop. So what I will do is with that rove across time. So once I click that rove across time and I click on the graph editor, you see now that what we can do here now is just to adjust just 2 keyframes. So it will flow, there won't be that stop. So just like what this what is the name again? Sometimes this After Effects guys, they just put some kind rover across time. What it does is it's just like it eliminates that. Should I say, for example, you are driving and you want to remove how do they call this thing? Oh, those gallop from the road. You understand? So it's just like it will help you to eliminate those gallop. Let me just use that. So then once you play it, you won't notice any of those keyframes, because first what we did was, or what is in our head is, for this ball to move from here to here, you understand, in that curve movement. So that's what let me go back to that. Sometimes that's what the rover across time does. So what I would do is just to make, so yeah, this is it. So what I want to achieve is, once it gets to this point, it will go up, come down, just as if you are trying to look at the obstacle or whatsoever thing that is trying to stop you. So let's have that. So once you get to this point, we have a keyframe already on the main ball. The main ball. So let me just name that as main ball. So once it gets to this point, remember, okay, yeah, I'm on it. So it comes to this part. Okay. So don't forget about this stuff. We are going to rearrange them. Let's just get the movement of the ball. So it comes to this point. And hey, don't cry. Huh? So like what Astonish said, he said sometimes if you want to achieve some certain things, you will sometimes spend like 4 hours just for maybe 4-second animation or 2 seconds animation that you want to do. That's what might happen here, because I'm not doing direct animation that I did here. We're trying to replicate or do something different, just like what I said the other time. So we have this. So instead, what I will do is, okay, so let it be here. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay. So it comes here, and you see that curve movement. That's okay. So just give it a pause. Let's say from here, Control V. So the next thing I will do, so as Tony said something about secondary motion. So I think I can apply that here too. Or let's just try and see if we don't need that. Okay, I think I need to apply that here now. So I'll create another null object. So we have this animation, it ends here. So what I will do is I will just break this layer into two. So Control Shift D to split the layer. So I think I'm done with this particular. So we have this. So it's good you change their label color so that you know how the animation is going. So I have this. Let me just bring it to somewhere here. So instead of parenting this to the ball control, this is the ball number 2. I will just change the parents to this. So automatically this will control that. Everything will still be in place. So at this point, I'm going to do same thing. Okay, instead of that, let me bring it to somewhere here. I think you should shift this a bit. Okay, so it happens too fast. So I just adjust this a bit. So I'll use the curve rove across time. So what we are trying to do is just like the ball come in and observe this, observe that before we now have that hit. That you understand? So okay. All right. So before it gets to this part, the hit will start. Okay. So let's trim this. So we have the position of this. So sorry about that. My little boy is just trying to teach me. Maybe he wants to come and lecture everybody. Okay. Okay, so this is the hit. One, let me see, maybe it's two. Okay, fine. So these are our first hits. One. Okay, so at this point, I will now add a keyframe. Let me say position, yeah. So if we look at the direction of the hits, so it will go up instead of going horizontal or something. Yeah, so okay. Okay, so I think I need to make some adjustments on this. Instead of me having this curve, let me make it linear and see. Okay, I think this is more. Okay, so what I will do is I will take this forward. Let's see on that. So this is the heat. So sometimes you there are some animation you don't really need to put this try to make things smooth and not the rest. So you just need to leave it at linear so you can have that heat. So it's then it comes back to its position. Okay, so I want to make this a little bit slower. Let's see how it will look. Okay, so I think okay, so let's just preview everything. Oh, okay, good. So we have this heat. So what I will do is I will create another null object. I'll make sure is what I will do is I'll make sure it's on top of or at the center of the ball. Then I will parent this first null object to this new null object. So just like a secondary. So Mr. Astonish, I know this will be funny. You said a secondary animation. Now I'm adding another null object. So this will be university animation bar.
I
Okay.
agree. I agree. Na master, na master.
Okay, so I will still use the keyframe position. So once we have this heat, okay, once we have this heat on this, we now do another hit. So for example, now we can just give this animation like let's say what the ball is doing is trying to hit or destroy bad government in Nigeria. Okay, so let
Amen.
my brother go and pray. Okay, so we have this. Uh, okay, so yeah. So what will happen is I think that should come back. Okay. So on this one, I think let me just preview and see how bum, bum. Okay, so obstacle two. No, okay, frame for this guy. Okay. Okay. So what we just did now, this particular animation, you can apply that to your US and UID animation, right? Because majorly your UI and US animation is more of interactive animation. So button clicking and all the rest. So that's just for that. Let's continue. Okay, I think it's not bad, but okay, just wait. Saving auto save. Okay, so what I observe now is that the animation is a bit slow, the heat, so I just need to make them fast. Uh, so let me bring this. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Okay. I think it's better. Okay. So this one comes back. So let's just preview. So sometimes when you are doing these motions, I say motion animation, motion graphics, you at some points once you animate and you don't like what you are seeing, you just need to go back and just readjusting so that it will look more real in real life, because what we are trying to animate here now, the part where the ball hits the two obstacles is just like physics. So sometimes you need to understand how physics work. You understand? So I can still, for example, increase the force of this ball. The force of this ball will also determine how this ball will react. So we have this. Then the next thing is for this ball to go out of the scene. Okay, this is wow. This little thing don't take our time like this. Huh? This life. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so let's come here. Okay, so I think we are done with these ones. So this will be the last ball. Well, I'm just going to create some other null objects and position that and parent it to this new null. So this second null object, the ball, we should just give it a different color. So this will help us to differentiate the layers. So I think I should just make this on blue. Or Okay. All right. So what we would do is, um, okay. So same thing P. So add keyframe here and just move this back. So just like we're trying to build a momentum. Okay. F9. Yeah. So once it gets to this point, I'll add another keyframe to the null object. Then somewhere here, I just need to pull it out. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we will do is this particular shape. Let me just duplicate it. We add some, so it's part of motion design anyway. So let me pre-compose this ball. So we're going to create like a shatter. So once this ball, the main ball pass through, there should be like an effect. Maybe this ball just burst out. So that is what we create. So there is one particular uh plugin or preset that comes with After Effects. I think it's called Shatter. I'm coming on breaks. Instead of breaks, let's use triangle. Or okay, thank you. So this is how, let me just bring it to the center. Supposed to be here. Reset. Okay, so we just need to tweak the settings a little. So let's, okay, so what will happen is we add physics. So the gravity should be minus. Oh, okay, let's increase it. Is it direction that we just work on? Okay. Okay, so let's observe the ball. The ball hits. That means this shatter effect that I want to create is supposed to, okay, some will burst this way, then some will still go the opposite side. I get it now. Okay. So P, I'm coming. I just want to, Let's increase it to like 30. Okay, it will slow down. Maybe let's just take it back because of my system, and I don't want us to um, delay. So I will put another effect called this 60 pixel pulley. So this will make it so gravity. So let's reduce it to like 5. Let's see. So with this pulley, we can adjust, for example, the gravity if we want it to go up, or we want the force to bring it down. So it's just a simple, just need to, okay, the force. I think the force is too much. Let's come back here. Okay, so let me pre-compose this. There are other things I can do to maybe enhance this particular effect, but because of time, I'm not going to do everything. So let me pre-compose this and maybe reduce this shape repetition. Let me increase this to 7. So we have more of them. Okay. So for this one that we pre-compose, which is this, I'm going to add where is that blur? Where are you? CC vector blur. Just leave it as natural. All right. Okay, let's just see how it will look on this animation. So this is it. Okay, I off the. Okay, so at this point, so I'll cut this one out. Okay. So I think we understand it now. So this particular one, I think we just off this layer for now. So we have just this. Okay. So we can create more. For example, let me reveal this, then duplicate this one, Control D. So I will just make this one a little bit smaller. Let's increase it to like 15. Okay. Okay, so I'll come back and bring this one. Yeah. So I can just press the P on this one, copy the position, and paste it on this, so it will automatically snap there. So let's see. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, so we have this now. Um, so let's look at our initial design. So if you take note now, we didn't add that shatter effect on this one. It just came in and did this thing and left like that, like Mongo. Okay, so let's see. So before I go further, is there any question? Okay, so no question, right?
No question. I think they are all following. Can
Okay,
continue.
okay. All right. So once I'm done with this now, I can pre-compose. I'll need to change the color of all of this. So this one is one ball. Let me call this star one. Don't write. Okay, so we have the ball. So what I would do is I would change the color of the ball. So let me use something a bit dark like so. Just copy and paste this one there. So one other thing I did here, you will notice that once the ball gets to any of these obstacles, there will be a glowing light. Yeah, so that's what we want to create now. So anytime the ball gets to any of the obstacle, there will be like a glowing light. I think that should be the word. So this is, so we'll call this one light. So we can create like a shape layer, but just to make things fast for us, I'll just use this plugin, optical flare. Just this will be better. Turn this to transparent. So just add a keyframe to the position. Hmm. So this is the first obstacle. So I will duplicate this, then I'll bring this under the this obstacle, then I'll use alpha max. So with that, now we have this glow light at the okay. So let me try something. Let me So I'm just going to parent. Okay, no need. There's no need for that. Let me just go back. So we have that. So there's something, just add blur. So there are two ways we can do this. We can either animate the opacity of this optical flare. So once it gets there, we just increase the opacity. So okay. Okay, great. That's fine. So once it gets to so duplicate this, then alpha mat again. This should be at the bottom. Okay, so once this light position again. Okay, so the T opacity. Okay, so we have that glowing light in between. No? Come back again to the light for this one. So what we do is add keyframe. Just okay. So the difference is between that first one is the light is still up. So this light is supposed to be at this point. So what I will do is I will just bring it, so it will be at Just bring out the mask. It's just like a rough work. I'm just trying to look at the time. We are behind time, and I think we need to cover more. Okay, so we have this. If you take notes, you will see as heat come, there's a glow going light. So we do that for the next one too. So at this point, create another one for this. So what I will do is I will just animate the position for this one. So once it gets there, there will be a glow. Okay, this is it. Oh, so at this point, so we still have the glow effects. Once it's and just go off again. Okay, so that's that. Then we can create a background for everything. BG. So there are some areas we can just make this one the same color so that it will not show fully. Then we'll have this should be like a lighter blue, something like this. Let's just see. Okay, so I think for this one, this particular class, this is where we end for this obstacle scene. Are we unstoppable? So there are other things you can add to this scene to just maybe spice it up, but from what we are looking at, it's just something simple like as possible. Okay, so that's that. So one last thing I want to share with you guys is let me use this particular one. So I don't know, maybe I will share the precept that I'm about to talk about. That is this particular the trail. So I'm going to what I do is I would duplicate this so it will be at the bottom. Then on the effects panel, which is animation, I will apply that. Just click on apply, then look for where you saved where that particular where did I save it? Okay, so this is just okay. So you can apply it to other so this will add more flair to your animation. So what I will do is instead of allowing this to have this long trail, I will adjust the length from here. Let me say 5. Yes, 5 should be better. Yes, 5 is okay. Yeah. So now the reason you might ask, why did I now make this side almost similar to the color of the ball? Now, one thing about obstacle is sometimes you don't see them. You understand? But once you have your torch and your candle, in case you are using candle, you'll be able to see them. So that's why it was not in my mind before, but it just came in. So sometimes you just had to try and see the outcome. So I think that is that. So you can apply that to the rest ball and also copy the same settings. Okay, let me just do it. So we have a finish. What did I do? So that everything will be uniform. So just come and copy the settings. So we have 5. This is 5. This one is white. And this takes the color. Then I put it on add. So the last one that we'll add is this one. So just duplicate it. The bottom one, go to your animation, apply that same. This one is 5. This one is the same color. And am I right? This one is white and this should be the same color. And add. Okay. So I think that's that. One last thing I do is I'll just add a curve adjustment. So a curve adjustment will just give it that general look. Okay, so let me just enlarge my screen so we see. Okay, so this is what we've created. Okay, so for this particular scene, I think with what we've seen already, we're able to replicate this scene. So remember what I said at the beginning of the class. I said that once you want to replicate something, or maybe let's just look something good like what you've done, you just need to maybe add some extra to it and understand the kind of animation that is being used on that particular scene. So I think that should be it for this scene. Yeah, I think that should be it. So you can as well add more glowing lights. Let me take this out. You can just add more lights. So it will just be like a flash of lights. Okay. So at this point, so you don't need to add any keyframe. You can just be there. Okay, there's a delay. So you have just like a spark. So you can increase the brightness a bit. Also feather the mask or delete the mask. So let's just see. Okay. So I think I'm okay with this. Okay, so I'm done with this one. So let's go to the next one. The next one should be, let me look at it. This is 27. So let's see how we can replicate this. So first, let's understand this thing. It's very simple. It's just this ball. So what I did was, okay, I think I should take out this. Fire effect. So this is the basic animation here. Other things that you see, just side attraction. So actually the ball is not moving. What's making this ball to look as if it's moving is the lines. So the ball initially, the ball is not moving. It's just the effect of these lines. That's why you think maybe the ball is moving. So what will happen is, let me just explain the animation that we did on this particular ball. We use position to bring the ball in. I'm coming. Let me see how I can make this a bit. So the ball came in with position. Then there's a scale animation. Coming. This 41. So I'm coming. So there's a scale animation. So this is scale animation. So we apply that animation on a null object. There are so many things happening here, but let me just explain the basic for us. So there's I parent the main ball to this null object, and I added an animation which is with the scale. If you look at the figure here, all the properties, you see it to reduce. So just like I scale it down, then we now added a wiggle effect. A wiggle effect is just like an expression. I'm trying to get it out from all the animation that we did here. Okay, yeah. So this is the wiggle expression. I won't give everything about this expression, but I will show you a quicker way for you to have that wiggle effect. So the ball came in and those lines appear to give that movement motion. So first thing first, let's see how we can these lines, they are simple, and I don't think we should spend more time on these lines, but I'll just show moving line. I'll just show how I created those lines. Okay, so with my pen tool selected, I just create a line and off the fill and increase the stroke of that line. Then remember, double click, so it will come to the center. The anchor point will come to the center. So that's that. So what I will do is I will add what is called trim parts. Trim parts. I will add trim parts to it. So if I increase this, it will trim the line or the stroke. Now remember, I said something on the when we are doing this particular animation. I said something about physics. So for example, if the ball is moving forward, the line should be going opposite direction. You understand? Just like as if you are inside a car, when you are moving, you see that your object, they are going your opposite direction, like the buildings, the trees, and all the rest. So that is what we are going to replicate here. So instead of the animation to go like this, we use this. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so I get it. All right. So I will add keyframe, just put this here first. So it's very slow, but we'll make it fast. And reduce this. Ooh. Okay. So let me. So what I did, I just press F now on my keyboard to add this type of graph animation. Design or what do they call it? Okay, so we have this. This is the basics, the basic. So line. What I will do is I will duplicate this line, just offset it in a way that then I will still adjust. Either I'll make this one faster. So I can duplicate more and maybe just put them randomly. So you understand the style of animation here. So that is what I did. So I made more of the lines, then I'll set them. If you look at my timeline, you see I'll set them in a way that they will come in randomly. Okay. Okay, so now we understand this. So let's go to the ball aspect. So I will take this ball. Let me just copy, instead of me to create all these ball from scratch again, I'll just copy them and maybe pre-compose. Let me create another one. Test ball. I'll just paste it here. So no need for me to recreate this from scratch. Okay. So remember, create your null object as your null layer. So your position. So let's make this animation maybe 7 seconds. Might not get up to 7 seconds, but just for the sake of Nigeria. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is let me just cut this. Bring this here. So I'll click S and position. So I'll just scale this down a bit and move it forward. Let me use F9 instead. Okay, so with this understanding, I'm not going to create the whole line again. What I will do, I'll just copy this and bring it to this scene. Okay, so we have this now. Okay, so the next thing I will do is I will add wiggle expression on the ball. So once it gets to this point, then the wiggle expression will start. Shift D. So position. So there are ways you can add that. You can hold Alt on your keyboard, then type in the expression, but I'm going to use a shortcut for that. I expression. So I don't know, maybe if they permit, I can send this particular plugin or script to you guys. So what I would do is
Sure, definitely.
Okay, so what I will do is I will click on the position because that's where I want to add the wiggle expression on. Then let me reduce this to, let's say, we just see what will happen. Okay, it's not that much, so I'll just increase it, let's say 50, and still apply. Okay, so I think you guys get the let me say 40, then increase this to like so you can just tweak the properties, then see how the results will look like. But I think this particular one is simple. It's not really hard, although this let me increase this and see if we'll get a faster frequency. Let me say 9. Apply. This is called Ogweje. Now there's commotion in the plane and we need rescue team. Okay, let me take it back. Okay. Okay, so I think we understand now. Okay. So that's that. That is for this. So remember what I did was nothing much. I animated the ball in with position. You can either use the null object or you can use the position of that particular ball. Then I added scale and positions just to give you that little movement before the lines, before those lines came in. Just add that motion to it. Then the next thing I did was to animate the ball out, and of course that is not something hard. Just add your keyframe to that and you are good to go. So what I did for this particular, this is just a scene that I created for Roku. So what I did was to introduce the logo animation. So just to get that. So that is that. So then for the fire effect, or should I say the thruster, I don't know how they call that, I think it should be thruster, that you see, that is this effect. What I did was a duplicate. I duplicated this animation. Then, okay, so this is just like a visual effect, or visual effect motion design. So what I did, I duplicated it and I blurred it out. So as soon as the ball starts, we see that effect coming. So that is that. 41. Okay, so I think we are done with this particular scene. So the next thing that we'll do is, so we've done the unstoppable introducing Roku. So for the test animation, so I will use another test to do this instead. So let me see. Okay, so let me just use this. So what I would do to get that particular animation is, we just need to animate each character. So the best thing I normally do, instead of me trying to type B, type C, and all the rest, I use another script called test exploder. So what this does, it will help you to separate all the characters so that you can animate them separately, and also it will help to keep the original this particular test like this without it being separated. So what I will do is I'll just click apply. Once I make sure that the test I want to separate is active, I'll just click apply and boom, it will give me all of this. So remember, we still have the full test itself. So let me just try that out. So what I will do is I will create a shape layer on top of each one of them. So I just duplicated that one, then still use the pen tool to adjust it. So we have this. I will make this three. So the one will be for this and blah 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 blah. So I just need to be fast and okay. So I skip one particular part. So I will add my trim part on this one. So add. So let's make this on 5 seconds again. So what will happen is, let me delete this because I'll just use one of the so that is for that. So instead of me to redo the animation again, I will just duplicate that particular shape layer I created. Then I will delete the shape layer, but the animation is still there. So this now will make work faster for us. So it's not too perfect, but you can just take your time to make it perfect. So the last one is this one. Same thing happened. I'll just go in and delete that layer. So we have that now. So I will still duplicate the particular shape layer and also apply that to the L, alphabet L. Then, so just like that, you will create the full test animation. So let me add for the C first. So because of time, this we have 6 more minutes to go. I think we should end here. Then, in case we have any question, we can ask. So, Marga, Mr. Astonish, I think over to you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Victor. I really enjoyed the class. I loved you how professionally you approach everything. Kudos, 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 kudos. So I really love what you did with the from the first scene, how you were able to even create something new from what you did the last time. I really love the new expression. I love the new way of approaching the same script. So I would like to say a few things. Okay, so in for a motion animation, no two motion designer can interpret a story the same way. No two motion designer can interpret a story the same way. There I go. Because sorry, my baby girl was disturbing me. No two motion designer can interpret a direction the same way you get. So there's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way to tell your story, but just make it good. Make it good and convincing enough. You get. Make it good and convincing enough. As a motion designer, you are first a storyteller. So how you interpret your stories is left to you. Second thing I want you guys to take home is that the more time you spend on a particular piece of motion, the better the result you get. Don't be a lazy motion designer. You get. Don't be a lazy motion designer. Always try to see your limit or push beyond your limit in every project, and that is how you stand out. Attention to details. These are ways you can stand out. Pay attention to detail. Make sure that it doesn't always come out fine the first time, or maybe your idea, what you have in your head, may not always come out the same way, or may not always come out that perfect. But when you keep on at it, that particular with a particular project, it tends to come out much more better. Yeah, don't be a lazy motion designer. And if you notice, you observe there are some lot of technicalities that he mentioned. There are some tools, there are some tweaks, And to most of you, these things can feel new, but then you have to watch a lot of couple of tutorial videos online. You get a lot of couple of tutorial videos online, and you watch tutorial based video based on your project. If you are working on a particular, just like he did now, he wanted the balls to scatter at some point. You get, so there was an effect and there was a plugin he did, and I'm 100% sure that he discovered that same effect from watching a particular video online, or a particular tutorial video on the internet. So always make a reference to YouTube. There are a lot of resources to achieve a particular effect. So when you have planned your effect, uh, when you plan your effect, even if it's not something you have ever done in your life, just know that there are always tutorial videos that you can reference to get the particular effect you want. But then make sure you tell a compelling story. Like I love the fact that the first two scenes he never used um he never used anything, he never used any typography. He didn't even use um images. So a good bonus about if you really want to perfect your storytelling, if you really want to perfect your storytelling, there's this channel I want you to look out for. uh, Victor, can you open your YouTube?
Okay.
Look for Austin. Let me look for his full name. Let me look for his full name. I'll drop the name on on the chat channel so I can just copy and paste.
Okay.
Where is the chat channel?
Okay,
Okay,
this guy, right?
exactly that guy. So if you follow some of his live video, he really approaches script animation, storytelling script animation, from start frame, from idea to script to start frame and execution. So if you really want to if you really want to create something as detailed and as compelling as this kind of animation that Victor did, this is really advanced. Just take your time and watch his videos. Most of those videos are like 4 5 hours, but then just be patient with them. Watch them, you get all the details you need to push something amazing like this, so that when you see videos like this, it will not be intimidating again for you. All these things are just like you saw from the beginning of his class. These are basic shapes, basic approaches. But when it's this detailed like this, it becomes very beautiful and very compelling than anything you can do with any images and typography. I think we can come to the end of the class. If you have any question from what I said or what Victor have done, you can still ask. But already we're already out of time. Thank you so much, everybody. Please find time to watch this the class again when it's out on YouTube. Okay, yeah, no question. Okay, for assignment, the Michael will be taking the class again. He'll be taking his own approach on animating script. Sorry, animation storytelling script. Okay, and at the end of the day, he will give his own assignment so that we don't have double work for you guys. But Victor will be able to share the source file for this project afterwards with the admins. He will share the source file of this project and all the remaining plugins and scripts he mentioned, so that you guys can explore and see what he did in the project so that you can learn better. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Victor, thank you so much for the class. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. So,
Yeah. Thank you, my boss.
yeah, we can't wait for the next opportunity to have you again. I tell you.